third episode in my Black Line campaign. I gonna try and challenge myself here. It's gonna be 220 against one. We'll see how this goes. Will likely end with my going down and my warband having to take pick up the slack, but we'll see. It'll make it exciting, right? So I've got the house to myself for a couple hours this morning, and I've been working since 7 o'clock to make up for all of the experience points that I didn't get yesterday. I had set up the game so that I had like two big sieges to defend, and I I wanted to be able to have that opportunity to show that in an episode, simultaneously together. Well, in the same video, I should say, not simultaneously. We're not defending both sieges at the same time. I suppose we are, but you know what I mean. I'm getting distracted and digress. So, because I had my game set up to do that video, I didn't want to progress any further until I had the opportunity to make an episode. But the house had people in it, and I wasn't comfortable asking them to be quiet, and so um, so I waited until much later in the day, and I didn't get the opportunity to play until the evening. And I have in this campaign trying to make all the levels, and so I have a goal to make a tenth of a level per day, and at this point it takes me 135 million EXP to level, so that is 13.5 million a day, which is quite a bit. But I haven't been having difficulty achieving that goal up until yesterday, when I had put off playing for so long. So I've been playing all morning, trying to make up the difference from my slacking off on my game play yesterday. So I'm warmed up a little bit. I don't have any excuse to be whiffing all these shots, but still am. And but hopefully we'll be able to take these guys out. It would be really cool if I did. It would be, I think, a new record, and to have it in an episode would be particularly cool. Oh, man. It's nice that there's enough cavalry in this battle that they are separated and counted as their own unit, so that they aren't trying to stick with the infantry. It's a lot harder to deal with them when they do that. That was a waste of 2 javelins. I was well within lance range when I finally landed the shot. So, oh well. Doing okay. We're still pretty good on health. And I think, yeah, we're about at the end of their cavalry. I believe they had about 20 in the beginning. But also, I think they've got about 50 archers over there, so that will be a real trick to try and deal with. Ooh, and they're all positioned where they want to be and stuff. Okay, sorry guys. We're going to have to try and lure them out by tricking them into thinking that I'm infantry. I know it's not very exciting to watch, but it's pretty necessary when they're in a wooded area and on top of a hill. Besides, it's that's a little much to ask that I attack them while they're entrenched. Oof. And they've got those archers. I'm glad I walked away from my horse so that my horse didn't take a shot. It still could have taken a shot, but if it had, um, it would have reared and bolted, and I would have been left to do this on foot. Okay, so because they've got so many infantry here in the same location, same unit as their horse archers. I mean, horse archers. I don't have any horse archers, but the same unit as their infantry. I think I'm just going to circle this unit and use the infantry to body block the shots from the archers as I do so. But I'm gonna go and get those two over here straggling out. I don't need them having better angles than everyone else. Ooh, there's a whole raft of them. I might be screwed here. This may be the beginning of the end. Rats. Okay. Man, and I've given them an opportunity to regain their entrenched position. Oof. So many projectiles, look at me. Oh, bananas. I'm gonna have to pull them out again, I guess. I don't see how this goes well for us, guys. Sorry. I think the most reasonable thing to do at this point would be to retreat. How embarrassing, though, you know, I only got 34 kills. If I retreated, I could then fight the warband over again with my whole warband, and I think it much more likely I do well. But no guts, no glory. Yikes. But yeah, just so you know, if you're doing this in your own campaign, the right thing to do would be to just leave, because while there isn't a whole lot of risk in, like, I'm firmly confident that my warband can handle these guys, and so there's no risk there. There is still risk that you will die. Every time you go down, you have a chance to die. The more armor you have, the more skill level your surgeon has, the less that risk is. And I have quite high armor and as high as surgeon skill as can be had, but that doesn't mean that you still can't die. And my character, also a determining factor if a noble is to die when they fall in battle, is how old they are. And my character has just turned 52, so he's old enough to die of old age, even. And so I haven't had to save scum the death of my character. I certainly will when it happens, if it happens, because the goal is not to get there without save scumming. The goal is to actually get there. I want to achieve the coolest character, and then maybe someday. Oh, okay, I can't not be using my shield right now. There's way too many archers. I'm gonna circle counterclockwise for a while. What this does is it reduces my range because, golly, it reduces my range because I'm having to, when I attack, reach across my character's torso, but it also puts my shield on the same side of, like, it puts my shield comfortably in between my enemy and myself, which at this point is kind of more valuable than reach. I don't see a whole lot of pole arms in there. I mean, there are definitely some, but they don't have them equipped. Yikes! Yikes! Ah! Well, I didn't die, just fell. I did get 70 of them. That's respectable enough, I guess. So, you guys will get to see what happens when you fail, when you try to be cool. It also, this is another like good reason to level your tactics skill. I have 330 tactics. You can see none of my guys went down, except for me, obviously. So this is the helmet that I want to have. Like, ideally, that's the dream helmet. I'd love to have that in legendary, which is not the best helmet. The base stats for it would be is 48. I have the normal helmet, but I want it in legendary. But the base armor class for it is 48, and ooh, nice, large bodkin, large stack bodkin. We can definitely use that. It's become so rare that I find something that I can actually use. It's kind of discouraging, but when you do find something you can use, by golly, does it feel good. Anyway, um, we'll just skip to him. Who is this anyway? Sheesh. I think this is like now or something like that. I can't see because the recording tab is covering up the character's name. If you're wondering why I'm being a numpty here. Golly. It is pretty awful, my jumping from thought to thought and then losing track of everything. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure I did that like 4 times in the course of just the last 12 minutes, which is awful. And I can't remember any of the things that I was touching on. So here we are with like 4 unfinished conversations, or thoughts, rather, I suppose, and 0 conclusions, and 0 idea of what those thoughts even were. So, golly. So I was thinking today as I was playing. I've talked a few times about how like it. I like making these videos, and I think everybody ought to. And how it doesn't that much matter if nobody ever watches any of it. I mean, it would be really cool to, as I say, like find a community of people that appreciate the game to talk to and appreciate the game together. You know, I tried to do that with Flasan's Discord, but I didn't get what I wanted out of it. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, but I was saying it's a big deal to just have documented your a history of your adventures in Calradia or whatever game you're playing, and have it as a video diary of your gameplay, so that you can look back on it. But I was thinking today, what's really cool is that if you put stuff on YouTube, it's pretty well going to be there forever. I don't think I'm doing anything in my content that would get anything taken down from YouTube, so it's a good bet that it'll be up on YouTube in 100 years or 150 years when nobody ever even remembers my name or anything about me, you know. Everyone that ever knew me is dead, and but it used to be like 30 years ago even. The only people that got immortalized were people of renown, you know, actors and famous scientists or uh, warmongering tyrants, whatever. Only people that really did world news worthy things um, were immortalized and remembered. And here we are living in a time when we can all immortalize ourselves. All it takes is $1,000, probably less than that, laptop from Walmart, and whammo, you're you're putting your thoughts and feelings and experiences on the internet where they can live forever and be enjoyed or criticized by generations to come. I think that's pretty special and unique to our times and beautiful. And everybody ought to take advantage of it. I think. The end. Not of the episode, of the thought. I have a habit of doing that. Now, I don't often use my couch lance function. It's pretty situational that it's any good. But when your enemies are changing their location and they don't want to pay attention to you, that's generally when it's going to be pretty good. And if you can get a down heal vantage at them, the determining factors, it seems to me, I don't know, I haven't looked at the code or anything or asked anybody that could, but it seems to me that the determining factor of how many people you can hit with your couch lance, whoop, oh man, I don't know if you guys saw him. I saw a guy with a spear all positioned and ready to hit me, so that's why I canceled that charge. And beard. So now these guys are getting to be where they want to be, and it's no longer terribly advantageous to be running through the ranks because they are more interested in paying attention to me. And that's when you get yourself smoked. So, got my horse archers pretty well on the other side of the hill from these guys. What I'm going to do here, because they're positioned on a hill, and if you leave, like you can see my horse archers are shooting, and I guess I don't actually need to do it. But a thing that you can do is you can tell your horse archers, once they've reached that far position, to dismount. And rather than continuing to circle the enemy, they will enclose on them until they have good shots. And so long as they're on the F1, F3 attack command. And now that I got that alert saying that the enemies are fleeing, I go ahead and give a second charge command so that, as I've said before, so that we can finish the battle off and we don't leave any EXP unattained for want of just celebrating our victory, which is silly. Yeah, I hate repeating myself. I guess hate is a pretty strong word, and I ought not use strong words, but I quite dislike a trait in myself that is to repeat the same things over and over again. It's so easy to do in the context of trying to commentate on your gameplay. You wanna have something to say. You don't want it to be dead air, but at the same time, you don't want to be saying the same things every episode, and everybody just gets tired of hearing the same nonsense. Ooh, we have a siege in my trap fief of Pancanic. So for those of you who are wondering, oh my goodness, I think that's Marinath and Pancanic. I say. So, that'll be fun. As I was saying, for those of you who are wondering what a trap fief might be, it's a term that I've coined myself just in reference to a fief that I keep purposefully weak so that it is attractive to my enemies to siege. The weaker it is, the more attractive it is, the braver they'll be in sieging it, and it'll get sieged more often. So I've kept Penkennick and Marinath purposefully weak, um, for that purpose, because I want I want my enemies to be sieging my towns, because um, I can then take the prisoners. It's the only time I'll take prisoners, but I can take the prisoners and um, sell them to the ransom brokers right on the spot. I don't have to travel with them. It doesn't take up any of my character's lifespan to do so. And you receive gold, which I don't care about, because gold is ridiculously easy to get once you've reached a certain point in the game. And but you also get roguery exp, which I value quite a bit, because if you do anything that levels any skill in the game, it also gives you um, the
Forward!
the overall character leveling exp. So you get exp for like, say, using your polearm. Killed a bunch of people with my polearm, I got polearm exp. Well, I already have 330 polearm exp, so what good is that? Well, the good is that um, while you're not getting any polearm levels, you're still getting comparable exp in your character level, and so can then increase your overall level, even though your skill level isn't increasing. I so wish these guys would put a little more effort in leveling their cavalry. Here they've got, like, I think those are tier 4 cavalry troops. It's a tricky word to say. And I just wish they would be tier 6. Doggone it. And I know that one thing that I could do to, like, the best thing I could do to make that happen is to go ahead and give them peace, that have the opportunity for, like, the longer troops sit in a village or a fief, the higher level they get in their base level. You'll probably have seen when I go to recruit the 4 obligatory troops to attack a siege camp, I sometimes have, like, Battanian hero, some sort of hero. I can't remember what the precise name was for it, but it's the hero, tier 6. Well, he's not tier 6, he's like tier 4. But it's like the tier 4 version of the noble troop for the Battanians, and that's about as high as it's ever. Yeah, it's certainly as high as I've ever seen it go in the fiefs, but yeah, that's a good way to get your enemies to have higher level troops, is to give their fiefs an opportunity to actually build them up. I don't like doing that right now because I'm more focused. Like, while I would love to be facing max level troops, I'm more focused on getting levels at this point. The reason why I want to see their max level cavalry is because they've got the elite cataphracts will have the chest armor that I want to drop. Now, I have had the question of would the enemy ever do any counter strategy, like counter tactics to my tactics, and I feel like this is about as close as it ever gets, is when they mount an attack and fail, but they still have reinforcements, so they're not routing, they're not trying to leave the battlefield, but they have received reinforcements, and so they're retreating in order to meet up with those reinforcements and mount a stronger offensive next time. But because they are in transit, they are not focusing me, because they're not focusing me. It's a great opportunity to pick up kills. Frankly, if I cared enough, I might have been better served to like do maybe an F1, F2, which is the follow command, and have my troops following me, so that they would have had the opportunity to get a bunch of kills there too. But I am confident that we have this battle won already, so I'm not stressed. I'd prefer that I get the kills. I'm gonna go ahead and tag this horse. I don't like it when horses eat my my arrows of my troops. So I've focused melee combat on this character for a few reasons. I didn't mean to kill him, but I'm not terribly sorry either, because let's face it, it's just data and pixels. See right there, the horse got in the way of my arrows, and that is costing me arrows in my quivers. It's no good. That's why I did it. My goodness. What was the thought I was on before we transferred to making horses scoot? I couldn't say. I think that well, there are certainly perks that help with damage to shields, or damage to destructible objects. I think that might even benefit. So that's something to consider when you're looking at your perks and captain perks. Is even with a bow, it's really nice to be able to bust your enemy's shield. And okay, kind of extending myself. I got farther ahead of my my companions here. There's a little hill, and the enemy archers decided to stop at the bottom of the hill and shoot at me rather than advance any further, and that's no good. I'm gonna go ahead and give a charge command, because I'm sure that, yeah, my tanks, I just call them tanks, they're the companion, the horse archers with swords and shields, they're out of arrows, so they're best used at this point in just a charge attack, because otherwise they're just standing there soaking arrows, which isn't to say that that's useless, but it is a better use in this instance to just tell them to get them. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition over this this hill here, because it'll give my foot archers the opportunity to pick up arrows, replenish their quivers. I had thought all of these cavalry, all of my tanks that have the sword and shield, they all have what is it called? Throwing skill. They have high javelin use skills, and there is a perk in that skill tree that makes it so that they can pick up stuff from their saddle. It's called like long reach, I believe, and it makes it so that they can shoot, or no, they can pick up stuff from the saddle. And I thought, ooh, I'm not using javelins anymore for various reasons. There's a lot of good reasons why I don't use javelins anymore, but I won't branch out to that just yet. I'm gonna try and finish this thought first. I thought, okay, well, I'm not using their skill anymore. The other perk at that point in the perk tree is it makes your javelin or your thrown weapon travel faster than it makes your thrown weapon travel faster based on your own speed. So when you're mounted, that's of a lot of value. It makes it to where you can be more accurate. I don't know if that has a whole lot of benefit for your AI, but that was the perk that I had opted to go for, and But I had a thought that if I switched that perk to where it was the long reach, that maybe they would, like my foot archers, replenish their quivers from the saddle, and that would be so OP. So I spent all the time and effort to respec them, and it doesn't seem to have helped at all. It doesn't seem that they will do it. Just a helpful tip if you guys ever have the thought yourself. It doesn't seem to work at this point. Maybe someday. It would be so OP. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get throwing skill for everybody. And then I could put everybody in the saddle. And, okay, I'm going to give the whole fire command because we're getting our guys separated. And that's no good. Leaving them hanging out to dry. So I finished that thought, but who knows what thought I was on before that, or which thought I was going to branch into. Oh yeah, I was talking about how I don't use javelins anymore. It's so cool once you get your clan members to 250, and everybody can throw their javelins through the enemy infantry's shields. It's so cool when they start slow marching up to you in shield wall formation, and they're showing you their shields, and all of a sudden they just all drop. It's really fun to see. Ooh, I'm gonna move these guys up. There's a bunch of quivers on the ground here, so they should be able to reload. And the enemy seems to be moving really slowly. I'm going to do a delaying tactic and keep these guys busy for a minute while my guys have a chance to get in the position I told them to get to and pick up some arrows. Do I have them in fire? Nope. Now I do. So while that is really fun and satisfying to have your companions, your clan members throwing javelins through the enemy's shields, javelins, especially the large sacks of javelins, are very heavy. Like the large sack of javelins, like the Jareed style javelins, are like pushing 10 weight. I don't know what unit of measurement the game uses for weight, but we'll call it 10 weight, which is a lot. And you get 2 of those, and you've got like maybe, I think, 22 ammunition at that point. And but if you've got 2 stacks of those, then you're looking at an extra 20 weight, and that is a boatload. There's a lot of people that tell you that weight doesn't matter, armor class doesn't matter in this game. It all matters. They both matter, especially if you abuse those things to that degree where you're having like practically a whole nother loadout that you're carrying around with you in those javelins, and your clan members aren't smart enough to drop their bags once they're done using the javelins. So yeah, I had experimented with it in previous campaigns, and it's much more worth it to just give them a bow and a quiver or 2 quivers, especially for the infantry. But there are scenarios where everyone becomes an infantry, like in sieges and the secondary siege battles and stuff. Not that secondary siege battles have ever been a difficulty, especially if you're running a companion-only campaign. Well, this isn't a companion-only campaign, but you know what I mean. But in sieges particularly, the javelins are bad because while you do get more ammunition, that especially if it's a siege defense, that ammunition is not replenishable. Those barrels of bolts and arrows, they don't replenish your javelins. So your clan members that are using throwing weapons in a siege defense situation are at a great disadvantage. Whereas even these guys with 1 quiver and a bow and a sword and shield, they're still of great use in that situation because they can replenish their quiver at the barrel, and it's no biggie. Not that those battles usually last long enough for them to use an entire quiver anyway. I don't know why, but enemies will retreat from those siege, like a siege defense from inside the castle that you're defending. They seem to retreat from those so easy. Um, it's kind of obnoxious, frankly. I wish it was more difficult to get them to quit, but because I don't like it. I don't like it when they run out of the map. I mean, it is a benefit to you because your troops are no longer in risk in that situation. When you come to this point and it's like, oh, the enemy's retreating, your guys are pretty well safe from here on out. So it is a benefit to get the perks that promote the morale degradation of your enemies. But if they do it too quick, then you lose hundreds of opportunities to get EXP. And I do not appreciate that. So that's my thoughts. I'm just making sure that death was not a clan member. Can't be having that. I will. I did tell in my last episode a lot of the rules that I laid down for this episode. Saves. Not this episode, but this campaign. Save scumming is not off the table. I will save scum for deaths of clan members, which a lot of people will look at and be like, well, then you suck. And to that I say, okay. Um, I'm not particularly bothered. It's hard enough. It's hard enough what I'm doing, trying to make the perfect character. But I do have plans of someday, if and when I complete what I want to do with this campaign, and I've got, you know, more things I'd like to do. If I'm still wanting to play the game, I will. What I'm doing is replacing the horse armor, if it will. I don't know why it's not. What the heck? That is befuddling. Oh, it's just the graphic. Let's see, yeah. The graphic bugs sometimes. So if I complete this campaign someday and I'm still wanting to play, I plan to run a campaign pretty well just like this, up from the beginning and make episodes to show. Ooh, nice. That's cool. That is an upgrade for somebody. Do episodes and and show how I did it. But that time, when I do it again, I'll do it in Iron Man mode, which will be infinitely more difficult because not only will you lose clan members in battle, but you'll also, oh man, she'll be the only clan member that's has a more than 40 weight in her loadout. She needs some different armor, I guess. Who is this? That's frustrating. Anyway, not only will you lose clan members in battle and make it infinitely more difficult, but I won't be able to save scum births in order to ensure that I get sons, in order to get the optimal clan. Like, I'll have to marry off all of the daughters, and that will make it slow going. So I don't know if this is the default, but if you hold shift on my the way I have my game set up, if I hold shift down, I move 5 units instead of 1 every time I click. So that's how I reset up how much food I've got in my inventory quickly. That took me a long time to learn, embarrassingly enough as it is to say, and it saves me a lot of time. I used to I used to have all of the food types. Oh no! I forgot to sell. I will have lost a bunch of troops there because I forgot to sell them, and then I left and started moving around. Um, I used to have all of the food types tabbed, and that is not the way to go. Let me tell you, it's much more easy to be able to just hit the D button and move all of the foods over, and then get units of 5 of them back than it is to um, than it is to try and get the precise amount of like try to leave the precise amount of units that you want in your warband when you're um, transferring your food out of your warband. Which like I've found that inventory management was a big issue for me in this game. Like it took me a long time to figure out a system that maybe I'm just not that smart. But it took me a long time to find a system that didn't bug me, because everything seems so inefficient. And but I do find that this works well for me and makes it so that I can enjoy the game. Give me as I drop frames. Imagine if I had max battle size on right now. That would have been brutal. This is not my favorite map. I'm considering just putting a garrison in this city so that it's no longer a trap thief. It's no longer attractive for my enemies to attack. I need to, speaking of attacking, have my horse archers flank. Considering that, because I don't like fighting on this battlefield. But it is nice to have 2 trap thief cities right here. And you want your trap thieves to be cities so that I have already said this over and over. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday as we went for a walk, and I was saying, oh man, I probably told this story again, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell it again anyway, even though it's something I don't like doing, is repeating myself. But she said something pretty cool. She said, well, it's okay. You can go ahead and tell the story over again, because this time you're probably telling it in a different context, like you're making a different observation, even though you're telling the same story, and so it has new value. So I'm gonna try and not hate on myself for doing that too much anymore. But when you're repeating yourself more than once in the same episode, I'd say that doesn't have very much value. This might be a little bit longer of an episode. We're pushing the 34, or not 34, dyslexia showing, 43-minute mark. And usually I have been ending at about 45 minutes, but we just started a new battle. And I guess better to have a longer episode than a shorter episode. I probably should have kept this. Probably should have not done this battle and then started another episode with this battle rather than stretching this episode out longer than it maybe should have been. So sorry for that. Sorry for my bad management. And maybe in this next episode we won't have much to do. That would be unfortunate. There's always something to do. What am I talking about? I know that I was talking. I don't know whether I finished the thought. That's the danger too. Is like I can't remember when I finished the thought. But I suppose it's safer to assume that I didn't finish the thought than that I did. So I was talking about how my goal is to have to make 13.5 million EXP a day, because that's 10% of a level, so it'll only take me 10 days to finish a level. Um, Yesterday I didn't get my EXP because I was waiting to do an episode, and I'm to the point now that well, at least I was when I first started this episode. I was about, I need 93.5 million in order to meet my quota for today. I have, all right, I had somewhere in the vicinity of 86 million. I'm gonna back these guys up. I don't like that field when you advanced on the enemy's position in this battlefield. I don't know, it gets ugly. I'd rather just make them come to me. There's more of a less hilly terrain right here that you just can't find anywhere else on the battlefield. So I'm just gonna wait them out, make them come to me. So I'm at about 86 million EXP right now, and or I was at the beginning of the episode. So we'll check when we're done with this battle, see how much EXP we've made during the course of this episode. I need to get to 93.5 to get my quota for the day, so we'll see. It's kind of funny. I was talking earlier about the couch lance and how it's pretty niche. You don't often find a good opportunity to use it. Coming up from behind a big group of infantry is a good time to use it, because they're moving in the same direction as you are, and so offer you less resistance to your because the whole point, really the only reason why you're going to use the couch lance is to try and get more than one kill at a time. I think I've gotten tops like 4 kills at once. That's pretty rare. Usually you're lucky to get 2 or 3. 3 is really lucky. But so that's what you're doing it for. And when you're coming up behind a big lumped group of infantry, that's a good time to get it, because you got all the targets all right there together. I need to be having my tanks do their job. They put the pressure on the archers, and that's hugely valuable, and also the infantry. So you can hear a bunch of them losing arc as soon as I give the charge order for the cavalry. It's kind of awesome. I have no idea of the function, what determines necessarily their loss of morale, but it's pretty cool. There it is. You want to celebrate? I won't have it. Celebrate when all the bodies are in the dirt. And you can use your clan members as signposts, pointing the way to where where all the retreating enemy are. Once you reach this point, if you don't want to leave the EXP on the table, then yeah, it's one way you can find where they are. Pretty well the only way. I don't know how else you do it, because they disappear to your tab function once they've decided to retreat. You can't push tab and have an icon showing the way to find them anymore. So yeah, you pretty well just got to follow your cavalry or your infantry too. Like they'll be moving in a direction, you can just go in that direction. Maybe they're a mile off, but they're going in the right direction, so you just head that way too, and you get them. Anyway, this has been my 3rd episode in the Black Lion campaign. I hope it made for an entertaining video, and have a great rest of your day.